Yeah, it's wild. All right, man. We are live again. I'm live on TikTok, live on YouTube. Big B Dailies coming at you 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, 4 p.m. Central Time. Man, today we're starting off. We're talking about some of these under the radar teams, man. I like the first team that I like is the Bears. I like the Bears. I think the Bears are going to get between 7 and 9 wins this year. I like the Bears. I like that over under 6.5. I'd like the over on that, man. I like the over. I would take them even higher if their defense was better. But in that division, I think they at least split that division. I think the Bears get between 7 and 9 wins. I like the Bears this year. I'm not saying they're going to win the division or anything, but I like the Bears having a big bounce back year. Plus, the NFL is better when the Bears are good. The NFL is better when the Bears are good. And it would be cool if they did make the playoffs because playoff games in Chicago in that weather are great news. So, but I like the Bears as one of those teams. Another team, which it hurts my heart to say, but a lot of people think that they're going to be good, is the Browns. The Browns got a good roster, man. The Browns have a good roster. So, if the Browns got a good roster, if Deshaun Watson gets back to what he was, I think I like him. I like him. Now, I don't like him better than my Steelers because I feel like the Steelers, the last couple of days, the Steelers have gotten this big vibe because of a preseason game. But y'all know me. I've been on the Steelers for 3 months that the Steelers were going to be better. So I just think the Browns, if Deshaun Watson gets back, the Browns are going to be better. Now, I still don't think they can stop the run, but I think they are going to have a better team, man. I do. I like the Browns. I like the Browns. If Deshaun Watson gets back to what he was. If he gets back to what he was. Now, another team that I like, the Falcons. Now, I don't necessarily like their quarterback play, and I don't like the Falcons to do any type of damage in the playoffs. So don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that. But they were close last year. And if Ritter can give them anything competent, they love to run the football. I think the Falcons are going to fight the Saints for that division. So I think the Saints are better. I think the Saints will still win the division, but I think the Falcons are going to fight them. Because one, on the offensive side of the ball, I think the Falcons are more physical than what the Saints are on defense. And the Falcons love to run the football, man. I'm just telling you. I like the Falcons being physical with the Saints. A lot of people are saying that the Bucks, but the Bucks can't run the ball. That's the problem. Now they get a lot of linemen back, so their line will be better than it was last year, even losing Donovan Smith. But I like the Falcons to fight the Saints. I think the Saints will win it. I think the Saints will win. Now a team, I don't know. Y'all tell me. Are the Dolphins considered under the radar? I say yes, because you still don't hear a lot of people talking about how good the Dolphins are going to be. So I say the Dolphins are under the radar. I had the Dolphins winning that division before Jalen Ramsey got hurt. And now, since he's gotten hurt, have we even heard anything from about the Dolphins? I don't think we have. So I'm just trying to figure out, are they a under the radar team or not? It's kind of like Seattle. I picked Seattle to win the division. But you haven't heard a lot about Seattle being really good. And I think Seattle's going to be very good this year. Very good. Sorry, my man. The Colts, no. The Colts are not going to be very good. The Colts, their franchise is a disaster. Irsay is a disaster. So I apologize. I wish it was different, but they're a disaster. But anyway, Yeah, those are some of the teams. And the last team that I got as far as under the radar, and again, they were right there to win the division last year, are the Titans. Now, I know the first thing that you're going to tell me, Brian, you have been bagging on Basket Case Tannehill for 2 years. And yes, I have. Basket Case Tannehill, you're never winning a Super Bowl with him. You are never going to win a Super Bowl with Ryan Tannehill as your quarterback. That's just not going to happen. That's just not going to happen. However, they've been good since he's been there. They've been decent. They've been decent. You know, and again, they were close. Now, he wasn't playing, but they were close last year. And my whole thing is like, man, the Titans clearly are done with them. They keep drafting quarterback after quarterback to get rid of them or to replace them. But I think the Titans are close, man. I do. I think the Titans are close. They can fight the Jags for that division. And I expect them to do that because you know their defense is good. You know the Titans' defense is going to come to play. Physical, they'll cover you, they'll hit you in the mouth. It's just, can they get enough quarterback play to win? And I don't know. I don't know with Basket Case. I don't know. So we'll see. We will see. Again, live on TikTok, live on YouTube, live on Facebook. If you're in TikTok and you're not following me, please give me a follow, man. I'd love for y'all to jump on over to YouTube. That would be great. Jump on over to YouTube. The chat is up and moving. Go subscribe to Big B Sports Talk. We're having a good time, man. So let's take it a step further now and change the subject a little bit. What do y'all think about this crazy college betting scandals that are going on everywhere? To me, it's insane. It's absolutely insane. And I'm not saying that guys haven't been betting previously. I'm not saying that. But it seems, first of all, what's going on in Iowa? What are they doing in Iowa where everybody is betting? Everybody is betting in Iowa. Heck, another guy today just got suspended. What is going on? And at least he copped up to it and said, yeah, I broke a rule. NCAA said, okay, good for you. You're suspended for the year. Wow. No leniency, no nothing, which is probably going to come out that he bet on an Iowa game, but maybe not because Iowa, they're, appealing it. But I'm just like, what are you guys doing? And I'm sure it's more than just Iowa. I'm sure it's more than just but it just seems like all these Iowa and Iowa State athletes, just one after another, it just keeps coming out. Man, it's crazy. It's crazy. I don't get it. Well, I mean, what's going on? It's nuts. It's just nuts. And my thing about it is, if you know that they can track you, kids aren't stupid. Now, we can say kids are immature, kids are this, that, and the other, but for the most part, kids are not stupid. They know how cell phones work. They know how IP addresses work. Kids know those things. So they knew that they were going to be able to track where they were making these bets from, or maybe they just said, they're not worried about it. They're not going to catch me yet. They got you too. It's crazy. It's crazy. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm just trying to figure it out. And I think it's only going to get worse because there's going to be more and more people that come out or that they find out we're betting. And what's really going to happen, you thought that it was a big name, the starting quarterback at Iowa State. Yeah, he's small potatoes. He's small potatoes. It's going to be somebody crazy, that a big star. That's what's going to get somebody's attention. Is a big star is going to get caught. It's nuts. It's just nuts. I don't know. I got a chat or a message in the chat saying there's nothing else to do in Iowa besides grow corn or waste money. I guess there's got to be something else to do, man. And I'm trying to figure, like, you've seen the guys that they've made like 30 bets and the total have been like for $425. I'm like, for $425, you gave up all of your college eligibility. Wow. I mean, just think about that for a second. 425 bucks over a span, which means you're betting $10 and $15 at a time. And you thought that was more important than your college eligibility. My goodness. Whew. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. It's nuts. But like I said, a big name's going to come out. You watch. Mark my words. Mark my words. It's going to, nobody's really talking about it right now. But when a big name gets caught, then people are going to flip out. Oh, man, this is terrible. What's going on? Yeah, just give it a minute. Just give it a minute. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. So, all right, man. We got the two subjects out of the way here. Let's talk a little bit, a little Q&A. Again, live on TikTok, live on YouTube. If you're not following me on TikTok, man, come and give me a follow. I would appreciate it. Anybody, jump on over to YouTube. The link is in the bio. Please come and subscribe. Big B Sports Talk, man. Every weekday, Monday through Friday, we're live 4 p.m. Central. So, Broncos record. I think the Broncos get to 7 wins. I think that's their max. I think the Broncos get to 7 wins. They get to 7 wins. Anything else, I'm not sure. But I think the Broncos can get to 7 wins. So we got Walter over on YouTube saying, roll Tide. I don't know. Is it me or does it seem like Alabama's going to have a problem this year? I don't know how good Alabama's going to be this year. Quarterback issues. Who's the running back? They don't have great star receivers. And every time we say stuff like that, they end up pulling out something and they're better than ever. I just think it's one of those years that Alabama's not as good. They may lose 3 games. And we have 3 games, that's a ton. It is a ton. And I think that happens. I think it happens. Let's see what we got over here. LSU beating Alabama. Michigan taking the college football playoff this year. That's a good take. I don't dislike Michigan this year. Arkansas could beat Alabama. I think the game's in Arkansas too. Kentucky's not beating Alabama. No. Stop it. Stop. UCLA beating USC. That could happen. We talked about the Dolphins earlier, my man. I like the Dolphins. I liked them better before Ramsey was out for the year. But I like the Dolphins. So, what do I think about the Chiefs? I think the Chiefs are still going to be good. All this talk about Chris Jones sitting out and, I can afford it. There's lots of people that can afford a lot of things. And I'll just say this. If Chris Jones decides that he wants to sit out and miss, he said he's going to sit out the first 8 weeks. So he's going to give up $8 million to still not get a contract. That would be one of the dumbest things that I've ever heard in my entire life. So let me get this straight. I'm going to give up $8 million. Well, it'll end up being closer to 9.5 with all the fines from missing training camp. So you're going to give up $9.5 million to still not get a contract just to come back and play. Again, everybody's got principles, but why would you give up that kind of money and still not get the contract that you want just so you can say you got 1 year so you can go sign somewhere next year? You can do that anyway. You're a free agent. Oh, and guess what? If the Chiefs decide they want to franchise you next year, They can do it. So you have literally accomplished nothing by sitting out 8 games. You've accomplished nothing other than hurting your teammates because you're a really, really good player. And look, I am a person that's always on the player side. Always, 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 when it makes sense. But I'm a pro player type of person. But you can't tell me that sitting out 8 games and giving up $9.5 million to accomplish nothing makes sense. It doesn't make sense. I mean, that doesn't make sense. I don't know. I don't know. Wouldn't be me. And it wouldn't be a lot of guys. And I think we've probably learned all this stuff about, people sitting out. Remember Le'Veon Bell? Le'Veon Bell tried to pull the same stuff, only he was on the second year of a franchise deal and gave up $15 million to sign for less money than what the Steelers had offered him. And he never made the money back, and he was out of the league 3 years later. I mean, it's insane. I'm not saying Chris Jones will be out of the league, but you can never make that money back. You're paid to play football, bro. Just go make the money. And if you want to sit out next year or whatever, do that. But don't give up $8 million. That's crazy. How do I feel about Baker being the starting QB? I mean, if Tampa's trying to win, which it looks like they are, then that's why Baker's the starting QB. If they actually wanted to see something, they would start Trask and see what they've got with them. Unless Trask is just terrible. And I'm not saying that he isn't. The Trask could be terrible. Trash could be trash. I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. But he could be terrible. And if he is, okay, I get it. I get it. But yeah, I mean, Baker being the starter, it is what it is. What do we got? K-State is going undefeated. Now, look, y'all see the stuff in the background. Oh, it's over here. I'm K-State through and through, along with Louisville, because I played at K-State. I love K-State. K-State's not going undefeated. K-State's not going undefeated. I wish they would. Don't get me wrong. I wish they would. But they're not going undefeated. They've got some pitfalls, a couple of tough games. Look for that Oklahoma State, Texas Tech back-to-back road games. They're going to drop one of those, unfortunately. But I will say this about K-State. If you're trying to be the program that you're trying to be, and you want the respect around the nation, you got to go win those games. You have to. Tough games on the road. That's what the big boys do. The big boys, with all the respect, they go on the road, tough road environments, and they go win those football games. So listen up, K-State fans. If K-State wants to get the respect that they deserve, and they deserve it, but you got to earn it. You got to go win those football games. So hopefully it happens. Am I predicting it? Probably not, but hopefully it does. What do we got over here on TikTok? What should the Gators do to win this year? Pray. That's what the Gators should do. Florida Gators should pray and hope that they have a whole lot of God-fearing people on their team, because they're not any good. Florida's going to stink. Florida is going to stink. They're not going to be any good. Tennessee 11-1, not a chance. Although I still like Tennessee, but they're not going 11-1. Is Pickett going to have a breakout year? I believe so. And here's the reason why. First of all, he's better. You can see that. Kenny Pickett is a better quarterback this year than he was last year. More confident, throwing the ball with more authority, understands the offense better. Pickett is that guy this year. Is he top 10 quarterback? No. But he's going to take a big step forward. Also, he's got a better offensive line, man. They can run the ball a little bit. They can protect him better. You'll be amazed what quarterbacks can do when they get a little bit of protection. And you know they got good weapons. Pickett's going to have a breakout year. I'm not predicting 4,500 yards and 50 touchdowns, nothing like that. But people are going to move him out of the quarterback spot. A lot of people have him at number 24, which he earned that last year. He earned that because the first half of the year that he was playing, he was lousy. And lousy's being nice. Pickett will be better. Pickett will be better. And so will the Steelers. Let's see. Jonathan Taylor to the Bucks possibilities. It's a good question, Uncle Matt, over here on YouTube. I mean, I guess if that's the case, the Bucks are really trying to win. But here's the thing. You got Baker Mayfield. You need to give Baker a real opportunity to be good. With comes that real opportunity to be good. Your line's coming back. Your line should be better this year. How is Baker Mayfield good? When Baker Mayfield has protection and they can run the football. That's when he's at his best. So getting Jonathan Taylor to the Bucks, that's not horrible. That's not horrible. And if they do that, the Bucks are trying to win. Which if they are, good for them. Good for them. You know, and Baker, I'm not saying Baker is some world-beating quarterback because he's not. But if you want him to be as effective as possible, those are the things you got to give him. You got to give him protection and you got to run the football. Because you know they got weapons on the outside. So you got to do those things for him to be as effective as possible. So good for Baker if that happens. If that happens. Here's a good question over here. Dalton Lester, what's your thoughts on James Cook? I think the Bills got to give him the ball more, man. I think the Bills got to give him the ball more. I just, they got to stop running Josh Allen as much, man. Josh Allen, he's a great athlete, but he's not a running back. And he is big and thinks he can run through these linebackers, man. It doesn't work. And y'all saw at the end of last year, Josh Allen was beat to hell. I mean, he just was. He was beat up because he kept taking those shots. Hand the ball to a running back. Let them do it. And I know everybody says, oh, Lamar Jackson runs the ball all the time. Lamar Jackson doesn't take those same kind of hits, man. Just watch Lamar Jackson run the ball. He's not taking shots like that. He's not trying to run through a linebacker. That's not what he does. Josh Allen does that, and Josh Allen got hurt doing that. Got to stop. Got to stop. So other news, Trey Lance. Hey, man, Sam Darnold is the number 2 quarterback. I mean, a lot of people are saying that Trey Lance is one of the biggest busts in the history of the National Football League. I mean, at this point, are they wrong? Now, granted, I'm a defender of Trey Lance. He hadn't gotten a real opportunity. 4 games is not enough time to know if you can start. Although, I will say this. Y'all remember a guy named, what was his name? Paxton Lynch from the Broncos. Horrible, horrible quarterback. Taken in the first round. Now, not number 3. I think he was number 19. They didn't give him a real opportunity, and it turned out he couldn't play. Let me bring it a couple years earlier. Earlier. The guy, Josh Rosen, drafted by Arizona at number 10. Started a few games. They turned right around the very next year and took a quarterback number 1 and shipped him off. He never got to play anywhere else really again. Never got another real opportunity. Couldn't play. So the 49ers are saying couldn't play. The flip side to all that, though, Geno Smith. Geno Smith got an opportunity. Wasn't very good. Team wasn't very good. Got shipped off. Then forgotten about for literally a decade. A decade. Geno Smith was gone. Comes back. All of a sudden, gets in the right system, has some playmakers around him, has a great year last year. Just a phenomenal year. So it can happen. It can happen. Get in the right situation. I think the thing with Trey Lance, he needs to go somewhere. I think he needs to get cut and not traded. He just needs to get cut and go somewhere where somebody says, hey, man, we're going to work on all of your mechanics for a year. Or go to a quarterback coach in the offseason if he doesn't get picked up. He'd be better if he got picked up by somebody that could sit him on the practice squad and just let him get better. The thing that hurt Trey Lance, a lot of people don't talk about, he didn't play football for 4 years. Remember, COVID, all that happened, and his team didn't play the next year. And then he got drafted, and then he didn't play, and then he got hurt. I mean, he really hasn't played a lot of football games in 4 years. That's his problem. That's his problem. So we'll see. We'll see, man. Again, live here on TikTok, live over on YouTube. If you're not following me on TikTok, man, please give me a follow. And come on over to YouTube, man. The link's in the bio. Come subscribe to the channel over there, man. We got people in the chat. Things are popping over there. The Big B Sports Talk. That is the YouTube channel. Let's keep it going. Deuce Vaughn and the Cowboys defense this year. First off, Deuce Vaughn's going to he's going to make an impact on the Cowboys. He's going to make an impact on the Cowboys. So that's number one. Cowboys defense, very good. Very good. If you remember from yesterday, I picked the Cowboys to win that division. And that just hurts every time I say it, my heart burns. My heart just burns because y'all know I don't like the Cowboys. You know I can't stand them. But it is what it is. It is what it is. I just think they're going to win that division. And I still like the Eagles. I think the Eagles are really good. But 18 years of nobody winning the division back to back, I'm saying it's going to be 19. I'm taking the Cowboys. I'm taking the Cowboys. So, let's see. What do we got on TikTok here? Can Patrick Mahomes be better, or is this the ceiling? Well, I mean, if you think about it, was Mahomes' best year his first year as a starter? If you just go by numbers, his best year was his first year as a starter, wasn't it? I think he can get better. I mean, we'll see. We'll see. First of all, it's a good question. But if this is his ceiling and he just stays there, that's pretty damn good. I mean, if he doesn't get any better and he just stays there, because there's no indication that he's slipping. So if he just stays there, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. So we'll see. Man, you haven't been on in a minute. Man, I just started. We're doing lives again, Jamar. Every day, 4 o'clock Central. We're live here on TikTok and live on YouTube. Big B Sports Talk, man. Come and check us out. Yeah, that's a good thing. If Kelsey goes down, the Chiefs are in trouble. But you can say that about a lot of teams. You can say that about a lot of teams. You know, if somebody goes down, their team's in trouble. Yeah, you can say that about a lot of teams. The Raiders, I'm sorry, man. The Raiders don't have anything. The Raiders don't have anything. The Josh Jacobs doesn't want to be there. He's going to come back and play, but he doesn't want to be there. Yeah, no. Dak should have been cut with Elliott. Come on now. Stop. Bosa, why would Bosa leave the Niners? Bosa's not leaving the Niners. He just got paid. And he's really good. He ain't leaving the Niners. Or if he didn't get paid, he's about to. Yeah, I don't know. That's a good thing, man. Because all reports are saying that Jalen Carter is wrecking shop in Philly, and the Falcons could have had him, and they took a running back. Oof. Oof. And again, I like the Falcons' plan. I like their plan. We're a running team. We got a guy that we think is a generational talent at running back, but isn't Jalen Carter a generational talent at defensive tackle? I don't know. I don't know, man. Especially when the Falcons have good running backs on their roster. I'm not saying they're world beaters. I'm not saying they're generational talents, but I'm saying they're effective. And in today's NFL, you need effective runners. And the Falcons have those. So while Robinson upgrades them, they didn't need him. They needed Jalen Carter. Whew. Whew. Bad. Carter was the steal of the draft 100%. 100%. He was the best player in the draft. Best player in the draft. It's crazy. Algier is just a guy. I'm not saying he's not just a guy, but the Chiefs got a bunch of guys that are just guys too. And the Falcons run the football. And they got a couple of guys that are just guys that do exactly what they need them to do. And Bijan is different. I get that. But Jalen Carter is different too. Jalen Carter is going to stop people from scoring points on them. That's what he's going to do. Bijan not going to do that. He's not going to do that. And you have the potential of keeping Jalen Carter on your franchise for 10 years. Bijan going to be there for 10 years? You going to pay him? We'll see. We talked about Baker earlier. I like Baker. I take that back. I don't like Baker. I think he's okay. I think if Baker has a running game and can get some protection, Baker can be good. He can be good. He can be an average. If he doesn't have those things, he's not good at all. He's terrible. Ritter is not going to carry them. But you had other guys that were running the football just fine. So, and I'm not saying that Bijan can't help the Falcons. I'm not saying that he's not an upgrade over what they have. He clearly is. But don't tell me that Jalen Carter isn't better than him, because he is. And Jalen Carter helps the Falcons more than Bijan is going to help the Falcons. That's just football. It's just football. But they went a different route, so I hope it works out. Let's see. The Big Ten expanding to the West Coast. Man, it's all about money, so it is what it is. You knew this was coming 5 years ago. We all knew it was coming. It finally got here. And here's the thing about expansion. We're all getting a big hullabaloo. We all get all pissed off about it. Doesn't make sense. We're all mad until they kick the ball off. Once they kick the ball off, nobody cares. I mean, literally. We'll argue about it, myself included. We'll argue about it all off season. When they kick the footballs off, nobody cares. Yeah, I mean, nobody cares. I will play who's on our schedule, and we want to win every game. And it doesn't matter if we have to fly all the way around the world to do it. We'll go, and we want to win every game. So, JSN got injured already. Yeah, he broke his wrist. Had to have surgery. The Raiders aren't going to be any good, man. Sorry. Doo-doo. So over on YouTube, they're saying that Jalen is better, but they have better backs. That's where they draw the line. This hot soup fellow over in the YouTube chat. I mean, they had a good running game last year. It's not like they didn't have a good running game. I mean, if their running game was awful, I would just say, yeah, they had to have Bijan. It makes more sense. But since it wasn't, and they have one of the best lines in football, which is sneaky, very sneaky. The Falcons have one of the best lines in football. Upgrade your defensive line. You can't get to the quarterback and you can't stop the run. How about you upgrade that over a running back for a run game that's already pretty good? That's all I'm saying. Jimmy G might be the most talented, but he is a winner. He might not be the most talented, but he's a winner. Is he a winner or is the roster a winner? Because Brock Purdy came in and did the exact same thing Jimmy G did. So I get what people say. Oh, man, he won a bunch of games. Okay, but so did Brock Purdy. So was it Jimmy G being a winner, or was that 49ers roster that helped him win? I'm going to say it was the roster. And if it's not, let's see how good Jimmy G is this year, because he's got one of the top receivers in football on his team. And let's see how good he is this year. Let's see. Who's winning the AFC? I still got the Chiefs. How did Kelsey's the number one option? How does he still get open? But first of all, he's very good. He's got a very good quarterback and Andy Reid. Devising plays, ways to get open. Andy Reid. Do. Let's see here. Over in YouTube, we got a question. Watch what Deshaun Watson does with a running game and improved coaching. That's great. We talked about that at the very beginning. The Browns are one of the teams that could be very good. They could also be the Browns, don't get me wrong. But if Deshaun Watson can get back into form with that running game, the Browns can be sneaky good. They can. It's crazy, but they can. I mean, it's bad for me as a Steelers fan because I know how good this guy can be. Hopefully, we're just better. Hopefully, we're just better. You know, I don't want him to get hurt. I do want him to play bad. And that's the fandom. I want them to play bad because they're in our division. I want to be better than them. So that's okay. I know people give people a hard time for saying, oh, you shouldn't wish somebody to play bad. Why? Why shouldn't I? I want my team to win. I don't want them to win. I want to win. Forget them. Play bad. Play terrible. But if Deshaun Watson gets it figured out, man, whoo. I think that's a good question. I got the Seahawks winning that division. I like the Seahawks. I do. They got a better running game this year. It'll be better. They can throw it. JSN got to get back. He got to get back on the field. But if he comes back and he's healthy, I'm telling you, their defense is better. They upgraded already decent secondary. Seahawks got something. The Seahawks got something. I'm just letting everybody know. So don't be surprised if they win that division because they can win it. They got talent. They got talent, man. All right, man. I appreciate you guys joining us today. Again, Big B Sports Talk. We're live Monday through Friday, 4 p.m. Central Time. We're live on TikTok. We're live on YouTube. We're even live on Facebook. If you're a friend of mine on Facebook, we are live there. Tune in every Monday through Friday at 4 p.m. I appreciate it. If you're following me on TikTok, or if you're not, please give me a follow. And also hit the link, man. Hit the bio. Come on over to YouTube. We got the chat is going crazy over on YouTube, man. Hit that chat button. Hit the subscribe button. Like, follow, make comments on the videos, everything, man. I appreciate you guys. Y'all have a good one, man.